At the Democratic Party presidential debate, candidates said many things to win the vote of people of color.
We need to call out white supremacy for what it is, domestic terrorism, and it poses a threat to the United States of America.
What Trump is doing through his racism and his xenophobia is demonizing a group of people. And as president, I will end that demonization. If a mother and a child walk thousands of miles on a dangerous path, in my view, they are not criminals.
But I don't think anyone can justify what this president is doing. Little kids literally woke up this weekend, turned on the TV, and saw their president calling their city, the town of Baltimore, nothing more than a home for rats.
In addition, the Trump administration's anti-immigrant and anti-minority policies serve to channel the Latinos community support towards the Democratic Party. But do the Democrats really serve the interest of the Latino community? And do Latinos feel that the Democratic Party does in fact represent them?
I'm a mother of 5 children.
There is a sense among many Latinos that after elections, this might not be the case. Within the Latino community, everyone still remembers former President Obama as the quote-unquote deporter-in-chief. From 2009 to 2016, the Democratic president's administration oversaw the forcible removal of more than 3 million undocumented immigrants. And to demonstrate their distrust, a group of Latino activists from Movimiento Cosecha, or Harvest Movement, occupied the streets, protesting outside the Fox Theater in Detroit, where the Democratic debate was taking place.
Exigiendo que todos los candidatos...
In Phoenix, we spoke to Karina Ruiz from the Arizona Dream Act Coalition, an organization focused on improving education opportunities for DACA recipients and providing legal support for the Latino community.
I mean, we have seen, like in the debates lately, we have seen that they really are not talking about what does it mean to stop deportations? What does it mean to stop putting children in cages? What does it mean to abolish an agency like ICE that did not exist before 9/11? They are trying again to play to a more centric conservative base, which I don't know if it exists anymore. They are not really speaking to the needs of immigrants and communities of color. And it's beyond immigration, it's also the criminalization.
Most of the candidates were on point, condemning both the policies of hate disseminated by President Donald Trump and economic injustice for so long, affecting communities of color.
That when it comes to the economic gap between blacks and whites in America, it does come from a great injustice that has never been dealt with.
We'll call his racism out for what it is and also talk about its consequences. It doesn't just offend our sensibilities to hear him say, send her back, about a member of Congress because she's a woman of color, because she's a Muslim American. It doesn't just offend our sensibilities when he calls Mexican immigrants rapists and criminals.
Ruiz sees through the candidates' promises and finds little substance to them.
Listen to the debate. I was listening to the debates and I was like, they don't have a plan for what does it look like to not fund these agencies that are dehumanizing immigrants. If the Democratic Party thinks that they don't have to go beyond that and really be bold about what the community needs, it might actually play against all of us. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have a good candidate that's really going to stand up for the values of inclusiveness, of dignity, recognizing the dignity of humans and immigrants, of really decriminalizing people of color, it might not help in turning out the vote that we really need to have to be able to defeat Trump.
However, there is a rising group of politicians who are mostly young, working class, female, and from minority communities. and give reason to believe that the rhetoric could turn into real action. Recently, President Trump singled out and attacked a group of these politicians who are in Congress, known as the Squad. The 4 young congresswomen, now icons of minority youth, are Representatives Ilhan Omar, Democrat of Minnesota, Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez of New York, Rashida Tlaib of Michigan, and Ayanna S. Presley of Massachusetts. All of them are from minority communities, working class, and elected to Congress among a new wave of young Democrats. We spoke with one of many such candidates, Isela Blanc, a former undocumented immigrant, now Arizona State Representative for the Democratic Party from District 26.
You know, I think we're starting to see a shift and a change. I think we're starting to see people like me, who were certainly never part of party politics, deciding to make some tough choices and running for public office. I am a person who grew up in poverty, a person who grew up living in the shadows as an undocumented person. I am someone that authentically believes in the American dream, though it feels like it's slowly disappearing. When you have those experiences of not knowing if you were going to have a roof over your head, when you watch your children go through school, I'm reminded every day of why I do the work that I do. And I do it because of that 10-year-old girl who was living in poverty, undocumented. I know what that is and what that feels like.
If we can have an Ocasio, if we can have Ilhan Omar, if we can have Kirsten Sinema that's openly bisexual, that we can have more representation of what the people are. And so Washington and the Hill are going to start shifting and shaping. And again, like, this takes a lot of grassroots work because these candidates don't have a lot of money. The Democratic Party really needs to come up with a strong plan and a platform that's not just going to be in the best interest of whomever gives them money, but in the interest of the people who are electing them for that office.
For more on the issue, stay tuned with The Real News.